And we're back to the Psalms. And today I'll be sharing the lessons that I learned from reading Psalms 43 to 45, 49, 84 to 85, and 87. So starting from Psalm 43, I said that the assurance of God's presence is something that every believer longs for in times of trouble, when they feel like God is absent. This psalm provides guidance in such times. David wrote it as a prayer to God in times of trouble, and it ended by encouraging himself in the Lord. In Psalm 44, that's a psalm that was written by the sons of Korah, most likely during the time of military defeat and calamity in Israel. They recalled and reflected on the victories God wrought for their fathers when they entered the promised land under Joshua's leadership. They claimed to be experiencing defeat and calamity despite their faithfulness to God. But this isn't true as far as we know, because in the Psalms, they were saying, we have done nothing wrong or something to that effect. But another way to look at it, I guess, is they themselves believing that perhaps they had been faithful, but the whole of Israel wasn't, and we all know that. The psalm concluded by calling on the Lord to arise and deliver his people. Psalm 44 was written to extol the glories of the Messiah and his bride. I loved that psalm. It celebrates the royal wedding of a great king, an ethical leader who loves what is right and abhors evil. It was probably written about David or his descendants, but also had some very beautiful metaphors in my mind, when I was thinking about the church being the bride of Christ and, the bride. So it was nice in that way. Psalm 49 was a psalm addressed to all the people, which teaches about the confidence of the foolish. It focuses on the certainty of death and inadequacies of wealth to save or even be useful other than in life. It teaches wisdom, emphasizing the foolishness of depending on material riches as wealth cannot buy the wealth cannot buy the precious gift of life, which comes from God alone. It's a call to remember what matters in life. And I think that this is very important, especially in the world that we live in today. How everyone thinks getting, as much as you can is the aim of life. But this psalm really helps to put it in perspective. Psalm 84 celebrates the beauty of God's dwelling place. The writer's soul longed to dwell in the presence of God and to enjoy great joy and satisfaction, all available there. Those who depend on God for strength have resources for life's journey and enjoy continual renewal and refreshing because God is with them. Psalm 85 was a prayer that God would restore favor to the land, a request that he graciously restore them just as he had done in the past. The people viewed all the calamities as a result of God's anger and due to their sins, and begged for mercy and salvation. And the final verse, the final psalm, Psalm 87, was a song of the glories of the city of the Lord, which praises Jerusalem, because at this time Jerusalem was the capital city or the city of the Lord, so to speak. And it was the spiritual center of the world at that time. It mentions Egypt, Babylon, and other cities, right? So, which indicates that God is the God of the nations, not just of those cities, because it was exalting God as God of Jerusalem, but was mentioning their enemy. Their enemy territories, and it was an invitation for all the nations to come and be part of God's people. So for me, I think the key takeaway for this from this psalm for me was that, as much as God is the God of Israel from what we are seeing here, because obviously Israel was the focus, but then bringing it back to today, God is also our God as well. So not just the Israelites, the God of everyone who accept Jesus in this dispensation as Christ. So we Gentiles now have entered into the glorious assembly of God's people. So that was one thing I did take away from here by, the psalmist also calling the enemy territories as well. And here's the lesson that I learned about God. Our strength is in God. In Psalm 84, 5-7, it says, "Blessed is the man whose strength is in you. They go from strength to strength." There's no other place for man to dwell outside of God and expect to prosper or receive strength. God is our home and He is our strength. We should treat our relationship with God with the utmost value and draw near to Him every day so that we are strengthened against everything that we may face in life. Thank you for joining me today. Tomorrow we'll go back to Chronicles and I'll be sharing lessons from 1 Chronicles 3-5. Have a wonderful day. Bye.